Within 10 minutes of the CNN presidential debate, President Joe Biden made a gaffe that now has Democrats concerned.
Elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right.
Where does the Democratic Party go for here? We'll see in Chicago. And Republicans, they're probably going to stick by their candidate.
So many experts on Twitter were talking about, replacing Biden. Look, the only way that happens is if Joe Biden himself voluntarily takes himself out. That's it. There's no other way. And then it's just going to be interesting warfare at that point in time.
Is that the best President Biden can do? Is that what voters can expect of another 4 years of President Biden?
Voters see President Biden every single day. I mean, let's not forget, it's not like voters are seeing President Biden just in the debate. They see him.
That's why he had to try and reassure them with the vigorous performance.
They see him at press conferences, they see him at events, they see him at campaign events, they see him at rallies. And so I'm very confident in the president.
Look, I've seen these conversations, and I've certainly seen the Democratic freak out. I mean, we're obviously in the literal spin room here, and I don't envy my Democratic friends here who've had to stand here and try to defend Joe Biden's debate performance, which was disastrous.
You said just now you'd rather have someone who needed a glass of water or had a cold than a liar, but the performance was much worse than that with respect. The president seemed confused at points. He was garbled. His brain freeze at moments. It was. People are saying it was an embarrassing performance, and we're asking you these questions because there are questions now as to whether or not he should be replaced as the candidate. It's something that the Democrats need to take seriously.
Sure. Well, first, I'm happy to answer your questions. I mean, absolutely not. I mean, the Democratic Party is 100% and going to be 100% behind Joe Biden.
But should you be
absolutely,
after tonight's performance?
That's
the question voters might be asking.
Yes, because I want to remind folks of one important thing. There is one person. There's one person in our country that has beat Donald Trump. His name is Joe Biden. And so I would rather have the one person in this country that has actually defeated Donald Trump, who in my opinion is the worst president ever in the history of this country, who has defiled the Constitution, who attacks immigrants, who attacks women, who attacks gay people. The one person that's beat that person has been Joe Biden.
Can he beat him again?
100%.
Do you think the only Democrat who can beat him?
Absolutely.
I will look Joe Biden and the Democratic Party straight in the eye and say, what you're doing right now is not working. There needs to be very hard decisions that need to be made, not just from the President of the United States, but the entire party and the platform. You need to get a clear message out to the American people about what's going to happen next.
What do you hear from Democrats, maybe the main talking point they've made about Republicans over the last few years, and you heard Joe Biden make it tonight, that Republicans are a threat to democracy. What would be a bigger threat to democracy than taking a candidate post-primary, when millions of people, Democratic primary voters, have already voted, and try to replace him at a convention with a few hundred Democratic elites? That is the biggest threat to democracy that's been contemplated in American government in the last few years. And of course, the Democrats are doing it without a hint of shame.
There were Democrats sort of speculating about replacing the president on the ticket. I mean, what would that mean for the Trump campaign?
Means nothing for us. We stay focused because at the end of the day, it's the Democrat agenda. I just told another reporter, it doesn't matter if it's Kamala Harris, Gavin Newsom, Gretchen Whitmer, it doesn't matter. Their agenda is the same. It's just the fact that Joe Biden does a terrible job of explaining what they're doing. But the agenda is the same. The outcome is the same. They're not going to reverse course on their agenda. We have to win back the White House in order to get the agenda of the American people back on track.
We were very happy about the way that tonight unfolded because it was the first time that we've had an opportunity with two candidates with very real records that they would have to stand up and defend and talk about the future of America. Joe Biden utterly failed to defend his legacy, his tenure in office, and President Trump put new solutions on the table at every single turn about how he's going to help get America out of this, out of the issues that we're facing today.
This idea that a cold is responsible for his performance tonight, I just wonder if American voters are going to believe that.
I mean, look, I think obviously the folks around him in the campaign have put out that he had a slight cold. He had a slight cold. Like, who cares?
And what do you think about the Biden campaign saying that the president had a cold?
You know what? this campaign comes down to strength versus weakness. And President Trump delivered an absolutely great victory tonight, and I think it's one of the most dominating debate performances we've ever seen.
But whether the Democratic Party acts on these concerns is another question. Here in Atlanta, I'm Naomi Lim with the Washington Examiner.